Hello everyone, welcome back to another turn of Yamamoto's Folly, our continuing struggle against the Allies. It is January 21st, 1942, and it's been an eventful few days, right? So we had great success a couple days ago, followed by a pretty bitter defeat as this cruiser group, the one we see right here, made its way to my CVE task force and absolutely decimated it. Here we see some Japanese ships. Unfortunately, they do not engage. Both task forces evade the combat. And now it looks like he's sending even more task forces into my ships. Here the Glasgow, which wandered into a bunch of its companions a couple turns ago, wanders into my ships. But yeah, there seems to be an inexhaustible supply of task forces sorting from Batavia into my ships. Here we are clearing out some PT boats. Here, Billiton. I'm sure he's trying to get these in among my task forces. Running into them again. Wasting precious ammunition on these little guys. And yet again. Alright, and here we have the remains, it looks like, of the large task force that we that did all the damage yesterday. Still pretty potent, still a lot of cruisers. A lot of those cruisers are still undamaged, and my little task force of 2 light cruisers and 2 destroyers is going to get hurt pretty badly by this. Probably will lose at least 2 of the ships, maybe more. Belfast at least is sunk, so we take out 1 light cruiser. It's also damaged earlier in the day, or yesterday I should say. Yeah, but Nishiki is in trouble. Yeah, lots of damage on the Nishiki, and she will not survive. So the other thing that we saw was not just this cruiser group heading kind of into our area of control up here, where we're kind of pressing south, but also more cruiser groups heading this direction as well. So he just has a lot of assets headed this way. And I still have my CV task force here and a few others that I really rather not have his surface task forces in among. So at least that time, Nishiki doesn't go down, and the Belfast is sunk. For now. We'll see what happens in the next few phases. You can see some of these task forces in among here. Landing at Vaitupu, making some more landings in kind of the Central Pacific. Oh, here's a Glasgow by itself. Oh, yep, we make short work of her. We put a torpedo in the Tromp, so that's nice. I-110 doing good work. So many cruisers. PT boats do find my invasion task force, but don't launch anything. Probably out of torpedoes after their previous combats. A little ASW action there. And again, this is where my carriers are. This hex right here He has this cruiser task force, this cruiser task force, and we saw some other forces in around Batavia, south of Batavia, and near Oosthaven as well. We missed the Dallas, that's a shame. But I-117 puts a shell and a torpedo in a XAK east of Ceylon. K-13 luckily doesn't make contact here. Other thing that's going to happen today is we're going to lose a lot of CVEs that were burning badly yesterday. So the death toll of those carriers has not ended. But here we have this fresh, completely fresh task force. Trying to get in among my carriers again and chase down my CVEs. I have this very light cruiser task force in its way. And this cruiser task force seems to be led by the Boise, which is bad news. She's a very capable light cruiser. Looks like we're doing good damage to some of his destroyers, but the Tojo is in a lot of trouble. So what he's done is pretty effective. I was prepared for a large wave on the first day of surface task forces. I was not prepared for the successive waves of cruisers. So each day there's just been more of these surface task forces sailing into this area, and my ships are tired, they're low on ammo, they're low on fuel, they're beat up. Whereas he keeps charging these new hulls into the North Java Sea here. That destroyer got hit badly there. Alright, so not lost this time, but we don't sink any of his ships either. Well, ASW attack on the O-25. We're onto the airface. Sweeping at Batavia. We're sweeping, and I know we're losing zeros doing it, but I really want to try to clear the air a little bit above Batavia for our bombers. We're going after the airfield here at Bataan simply because we need to start doing some damage to this airfield so he doesn't continue to build forts. Nels find the Hoovers in Western Camp, but aren't able to put a torp in either. Neither are these Bettys. Sweeping again at Batavia. Lose 0. Lots of Bettys getting destroyed here by this cap. Pretty ugly. But we are able to bomb the port here, and we're putting a lot of bombs on these ships. A lot of bombs on these ships. We lose 13 Bettys. 10 hits on the Nike, 11 on the Jura, 2 on the Hermes. Repulse takes some as well. These light carriers have to be hurting by now. Another group comes in, but they aren't able to drop any bombs. Bombing Cebu, bombing Nanning, bombing Nanchang. And bombing Rangoon. Some good hits on Rangoon there. So Swordfish tried to get into our invasion task force at Folly. They managed to put a torpedo in one of our AKs. Not good. Catalina's attack at Babel Daub put a bomb in XAP. And they try to connect near Cameron Bay, but miss. Dutch bombers come in. They're not going to do much. Nope. 5 destroyed. And more. And more come in and also miss. Lightning sweep. We managed to take out one of them. Or Betty's getting shot down over Batavia. And again. Doing good damage at Rangoon. Betty's find these tankers here, but don't put any bombs in them, unfortunately. More Bettys come in, more get destroyed, but we do get through to bomb the port and putting more bombs on these ships at anchor. Yeah, Nike must be in trouble by now. So much, Jura must be as well. Nels missed the Enterprise. Little carrier strike here. That was destroyed by flak, but we do put a bomb in a destroyer. And more Nels miss. So I have to say, this is a... I recorded the first time, but I got a phone call in the middle of the recording. This replay that I'm watching now, that we're watching together, this video, is not what actually happened in the original replay. So there's kind of almost an internal desync here between the replay that I watched when I first generated the turn and the one that I'm watching now. And the turn that I originally watched went a little bit better. Some French ships here around Horn Island. I wonder what those are. Betty puts a torpedo into a Dutch cruiser. Catalina's again put another bomb in our ships here. Carrier strike's not doing much here. These get through though, and do some good damage to these cruisers, it looks like. Yeah, a few bombs at least. also fight again with Piratejoe, which is badly damaged, and this large cruiser task force. So yeah, this is not what actually happened in the original replay when the cruiser task force that had the Piratejoe in it originally tangled with this large cruiser task force. The Piratejoe was destroyed. There was not a second combat like this with them. There were some other ancillary combats, and the air phase went a lot better. The air phase wound up with how should I say it? A lot more damage at Batavia, more torpedoes in the ships around here. Very odd to get this post-air phase, naval phase. It's not something you see very often. Looks like Piratejoe is going to go down in this replay as well. Kiyozuki does as well. Sinks. Piratejoe's still up, but she'll sink before the end of the day. SI-78 puts 3 torpedoes into light cruiser Caledon. Attack at Ambon. Only get a 1-2, which is disappointing. Bombard here at Sinkuang. And I take Mare Sing. Oh, I don't. In the original replay, I take Mare Sing. Get a 1-2 here. And take Tupu. So that looks like it for the churn. So yeah, a little bit strange today because what you just watched in this video isn't what actually happened. This is a case of the game desyncing. This can happen every so often. For some reason, the replay isn't quite the same. But the end result is pretty much the same. End result is he has a cruiser task force that tried to run up and get in among my amphibious TFs and my fleeing CVEs that are badly damaged and my CVs. End result was he was able to cause some damage to my destroyers and to my cruisers, but he wasn't able to get in among the vulnerable ships in both the replay and what actually happened. The big differences in what actually happened is that I did a lot more damage to that cruiser TF by the end of the day. I also took some more losses with light cruisers and destroyers. And the bombing of Batavia went a little bit better. I didn't lose quite so many Bettys to cap. I had better sweeps, I had better escorts, and I felt that we had a just better result overall. So I'll post that all in the Discord. You guys can check it out there, and I'll post some of those combat reports there as well, so you can see how the actual results went down. In any case, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry it was a little bit janky this time, and I'll see you guys in the Discord. Take care.